Good afternoon, everyone. Global electric circuit. Why would I bring that up? Inbound, outbound charge now visible running down the magnetic field lines over the last couple of solar events. Plasma rope electrifying. Twist them together in a plasma filament, field-aligned current. Seems like it's intensifying as we march through time. Magnetic field lines above the magnetosphere now visibly connecting through the magnetic field lines back to the sun. These will continue to glow brighter over the next few years. Electrical frequency, low charge, the red, high charge, the blue. It's just a 400-year cycle, culminating October 2024 for at least the first wave. Electrical current changes in our solar system affecting planting and harvesting times of all the crops across the world, and then it's gone. To repeat 400 years again in the future. View from the space station looking toward Alaska. 28.7 feet of snow. Scenes out of the day after tomorrow. Hunters rescued as the river completely freezes and ices in just hours. New studies show that by the time people reach their middle ages, the body often produces less than half of the collagen it did in their youth. Collagen is the main building block in our skin, making up 70 to 80% of it. This is why we get sagging skin and wrinkles as we age. If you want to look younger, you must supplement collagen, which will improve your skin's elasticity, make it smoother, more plump, and more youthful looking. That's why Ageless Multi-Collagen provides 5 key types of collagen you need from 4 different sources, essential to optimally support an array of full-body benefits. No odor, no taste, no clumping, unlike other collagen supplements. And this is why I recommend Health with Adapt2030.com Ageless Multi-Collagen, a quick way for youthful appearance. Use the link in the description box below for 51% off my favorite Ageless Multi-Collagen. And now on with the video. I'm going to start you off here. We've had a multi-series of X flares, M flares, sweeping flares, cannibal flares. This would be expected in this grand solar minimum intensification period. And since these series of solar storms have hit our planet, you can see it visibly now what this global electric circuit is. The inbound is on the right, which you're going to be looking from plasma from the sun to wrap around our magnetic field lines, creating field-aligned currents that will glow visibly because they got more highly charged. Outbound is where you would see disturbances in the weather and maybe the crop planting, harvesting dates. So these most recent CMEs, coronal mass ejections from the 30th of October to November 7th, magnetic field lines visible being wrapped by the plasma. These streamers here are not nearly as strong, but you can see how something's being bunched into a visible light spectrum. Plasma ropes here visible, blue. Twist these and you get something called a field-aligned current. This one was seen in 2018 and these last events of October and first week in November. So if the trend continues, it's going to continue through at least 2024 when we see some planetary alignments not seen since 1486 or 79 AD. Magnetosphere above the ionosphere, reaching out to the sun, literally in space. I circled the magnetic field line for you, and as you look around the northern polar region, you can visualize what these magnetic field lines look like coming in on the top of our planet or the bottom. They're becoming so highly charged that they're becoming visible now. A different way for you to look at it, connection point from the sun back into the magnetic North Pole. Some images here from the space station, and you can see the intensity of how much energy is being input into the system by the literal glow or dimness of the electrical charge into that whole space that you're seeing. Those reds terminating in the incredible, almost white-green, incredible electric charge. Those purples as well, you can see there's a break if you look almost straight north on this around 0 degrees. It's almost a break straight through all that plasma. I wonder what it would look like through the tunnel outbound. Because on the ground they were reporting seeing scenes similar to this, the most intense, swirling in the vibration, dancing skirts, and this all the way down to North Dakota. It's almost like a heavy weather front come rolling through. And you can see on the edges where it wouldn't be as intense, like you saw from the quote-unquote space station images. So if we're over Europe and we're looking that direction over the planet on the North Pole, the arrow is pointing toward Alaska in the top center. In the bottom left, that area, if you continue straight out on what it looks like a plasma wall, for a better term, that'll take you right down over New York into Smoky Mountains, Appalachia, and parts east of the U.S. So knowing that some of the most intense aurora were seen, which means electrical intensity. So what do we see here? 28.7 feet of snow in a 72-hour period, 344 inches. That's that yellow in the center of the mountain range there. So if you do look at this chart, it's in feet and off the chart at over 20 feet. Pegged off the chart where it's measured at the height of a house in a single event. And I love here, Fox Weather, 48 inches plus. Well, 48 inches plus, which is 4 feet off their chart compared to 20 feet off the chart, is quite a bit different. I think that should have been showing the far edge of how deep this record-breaking snow truly is. And I love how the comparison here, you could stack 3 elephants on top of each other to get the same depth and thickness of snow that dropped in a single event. A little bit better topography here for you on the mapping. But at the same time, you obviously have to have precipitation or some type of rainfall to create the snowfall. So Portage Glacier Visitor Center, all-time record rains with 110 straight hours of measurable rain. And looking back through Alaska's all-time greatest 3-day rain totals, the top 3 were previously set by Little Port Walter, the rainiest spot in Alaska, but now this was eclipsed by the Portage Glacier event, 22.35 inches. So if you equate 1 inch of rain with 1 foot of snow, approximately, I know, it's an evenness, it's easier to work with those numbers, then that would be right on par with 22.3 feet of snow, and the forecast was showing 28 feet of snow. Which makes this news article here make sense. These hunters that were hunting for their village were trapped at an Alaskan fishing camp. The Yukon River froze over in something that can be described as a day after tomorrow event. They were able to get in there with their boats, set up camp when it's normally warmer in the waters, but this anomaly came in and froze the river in just hours where they couldn't even escape downriver. With boats, with motors, that's how fast it happened. You can see the frozen river in the background there. They had to be pulled out of there by helicopter. It's almost the same as saying that your mountain rescue crew needs to be rescued by helicopter because they're now needing a mountain rescue because the events changed and were so outside of what was possible that it caught them off guard. It's the exact same thing with these hunters. Generations of going to the same spot and then something this strange came in. And then look, Mount LeConte Lodge, which is in Tennessee, snow months early. And even North Carolina, so many places in North Carolina, tranquil snow. That's a good description of it. And even going back to Halloween, it was still snowing and all the record lake effect snows. And there's a lot of things going on. Building into 2024 when this electromagnetic field is going to also have some disturbance on our planet here, in addition to the sun stepping down, doing its 400-year cycle. So you just have to wonder if the electrification of our atmosphere is following certain field lines down, and now it's starting to affect global agriculture because nearby wheat future settlement prices up and up, doubling And a different way to look at it, spring wheat, the blue is much easier to see as it's moving northward, doubling in price. And looking at the harvests themselves, durum wheat, only 50% of what it normally is, meaning they lost half their harvest by not being able to grow it as it should have over the last 100 and some years. It's an electrical frequency change out of the sun onto the planet affecting our weather systems. The red is low electrical input, the blue is higher. We're coming back into the same cycle again. Think of it as a cycle. The electrical charge changes, it intensifies to a certain point, 2024 in the beginning, and then whoosh, it's gone. And we reset for another 400 years of consistent plant and harvest dates not affected by cooler soil temperatures and freeze events straining crops in the fields. And as we are moving through all of this, you may want to consider some storable foods, 25-year shelf life, My Patriot supply, 3-month emergency food supply, and Adapt 2030. Give yourself the peace of mind knowing you're more prepared for events just like this that are intensifying year upon year, month upon month. That link's in the description box below along with tonight's images and stories. But I do thank you for watching. Hope you got something out of the video, and I'll see you next time.